All right. Hello, everyone. We are live here with our APL Under the Radar Game Week 38 preview. I'm here with my buddy and my co host, APL Wrangler, our returning guest, Black Wolf, Dan, and for the first time, Patrick. So we're very happy to have our APL USA Space co-hosts, fantastic co-hosts, Dan and Patrick, amongst us. It has been a pleasure all through the season. When did we start the space first time, Dan? Was
Oh,
it earlier this year?
a
Game
couple of
week
months ago now.
24,
Game week
maybe
24 or
Around Game Week
23.
24,
Yeah, I
something?
think.
something like that.
Yeah, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
but it's been growing every single week. Now we have like 120 plus people joining. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And of course, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to all our listeners or viewers, wherever you are. Derek is here already with us. Hello, Derek.
Hey, Derek.
Uh,
Hey,
so yeah,
Derek.
I mean, it has been fantastic, right? The whole FPL US experience, as we spoke about the last time around as well. Uh, so today, again, we are going to take it very casually. Of course, this is our last video of the season. As we said last time, we started at around game week 18 time frame. So this is our 22nd video. When we started this, me, Wrangler, and ZD, uh, it was kind of our dream project, right? Well, me and Wrangler, we have been talking about it since last season that, hey, let's do something. We spent so much time talking about FPL anyways. Why not just do something, right? For everyone else to see us as well. It didn't happen because we were busy with other things. But yeah, this season we just started. ZD gave us a big push also, right? Like, hey, bros, let's just do this. So we did that, and it has been a very, very nice journey. We don't have a lot of subscribers yet, and I don't regret that. I just feel so happy that we did this. We just enjoy talking about FPL and football in general. So absolutely no regrets there. So yeah, I mean, again, welcome Dan and welcome Patrick
Thank you.
to
Thank
our
you.
video. Hopefully, you'll have a good time here.
Your subscribers are going to go way up the next season because you guys do amazing content. I really enjoy your videos. And on Spaces too, you guys have the best input out of everyone, I
Thank you.
feel. So
Appreciate it.
I'm not worried
Thank
about
you.
that.
Rocket
Thank you.
ship to the moon.
Absolutely. All right. So, of course, today, since this is, I'm assuming, Patrick, this is your first live streaming ever, or did you do something before?
No, this is my first one.
Okay. So,
Thanks for
absolutely.
having me
So,
on.
yeah, so we are going to chit chat a little bit with Patrick just about overall his football APL experience. And this was his first season, so how that went, we'll talk about that. Um, we'll briefly talk about our season reviews because, of course, this is going to be our last video for this season. We may do something post season, but we'll just kind of briefly talk about our seasons, how it went, and how we want to improve in the next season and so on. And then we'll get into, of course, the game week 38 fixtures and the matchups, the players to target. We'll talk about captaincy. That's going to be very interesting. A lot of fun options for 38. And we'll talk about our team selections, how our bus teams are looking and what our transfer thoughts are. So, yeah, so let's get into it. So, Patrick, uh, I'll ask the first question. So, uh, did you watch football like from your very early age, or how did you get into football? Like just watching football in general. How did you become a Man U supporter?
So I'll start with I started playing football since I was about 5 years old. Continued that through, I guess, up to college. Played on lots of travel teams and um, 3v3, 7v7, 11v11, whatever I could. 5 teams at once. It didn't matter. I played on everything. Um, so I played a lot. And then Premier League, probably been watching, I'd say about 18, 19 years.
Wow.
Um, and I became a Man United fan probably about age 7 or 8 or so. My sister studied abroad. She's a little bit older than me. She studied abroad um, and brought me home a Man United ball. And this was probably like the 99 season. with
Mhm.
like Schmeichel in goal, Nicky Butt, those kind of players. So that kind of spurred my fandom. I had no reason to pick a team, but she gave me one, and then I started watching EPL ever since.
Nice, nice. So
That
how
was
did you
the
not play a
treble winning season, right? Sorry, that was
What?
the
No, go
treble
ahead.
winning season, 99, right? Wow. Good time to become a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the golden era, right? Still the
Yeah.
golden era for Man
Yeah.
United. Yeah. So how did you not pick up FPL before this season?
I have no idea. It's kind of shocking to me because I have an addictive personality when it comes to games like this, and I play pretty much every
Fantasy games.
fantasy sport: baseball, basketball, obviously fantasy football for the NFL, pick 'em for college sports. I do everything. So it's kind of shocking that I never did FPL until this season, but I'm loving it. It's such a puzzle, lots of strategy involved, and I love it. It's definitely my favorite one.
Nice, nice. Dan, take it away. Your turn.
And you're very good at it on your first season too. Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in the top 5K in your very first season. That's really impressive.
Positive
Very,
variance.
very.
I mean, you're worried that I'm going to ask you strange questions. I'm really not. I just want to know more about the Patrick away from FPL, away from football. Like, what kind of things do you enjoy? How do you spend your spare time? Things like that.
Okay, so spare time, I'm on two teams, I guess. One football team that I play Tuesday nights. So I enjoy that. We've won 2 championships in the past year or so. It's a rotating like 7-week season, so they just pump them out year after year after year, or season after season. So 2 championships there. Got some trophies for that. And then I also like to play cornhole, so I'm on a cornhole team as well.
Oh, nice. I'm going to have to come to Atlanta and give you a game.
Good luck. Good luck.
Oh, competitive. So if you were an FPL player, what position would you be and how much would you be? Are you like a premium striker or a budget defender?
In my 7v7 team that I play on Tuesday nights, I either am left mid or left back. In my higher level playing days, I guess, I was a left mid. I was a lot more in shape. Was the guy that was the Ryan Giggs running everywhere. But that's just not me anymore. I don't have the stamina to do that. So definitely not a premium asset anymore, but we'll call myself a 4.5 defender, 5 defender.
That's it. Okay.
Not bad.
Go ahead, Wrangler.
No, I mean that's really good to know that. I mean, you have been playing soccer or football.
Almost said soccer.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, you're like Ryan Giggs. Wow, that's really good to know. We should really play sometimes. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Kante
We
and we
should
play actually. Like, I mean, I play. I think Monday and Thursday, right? We
Mondays and
play.
Thursdays every week. Yeah.
So what
All
positions do
friendly.
you guys play?
It's all over the places. Kante,
We
you,
have
you
we
go.
have a lot of people. Sometimes we play like 12v12, 13v13.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a pretty standard size fields, but still a lot of people, and we don't say no to anyone. So whoever comes in plays, but we enjoy it. We enjoy it. We have been playing together for almost now 4 years, right, Angler, if I'm not wrong, in Michigan. We know each other, of course, from like long back, like almost for 15
Okay.
years now. We have not been in touch for some time, and then Wrangler moved to Michigan for his job, and we have been in touch forever since then.
Oh, that's
But yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay. We should have a game at some point.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
Game week 39 next season. I mean, I can see it.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
see.
Kante actually play like forward, like he plays either in the wing or in the forward, while I play in the midfield, like either in the attacking mid or defensive mid sometimes. So yeah, basically we do the eye contact and I pass the ball and then he gives the run. So that's how we play.
Yeah. I'm a striker. I would say I'm like I don't know, 6 million striker. Let's say that. I'm like a Pookie.
Yeah, that's
I see Derek.
Dennis.
Oh no, Tony. How
Um,
about Tony?
yeah. He's a lot faster than I am.
Derek is asking, is Patrick better than Luke Shaw?
The one thing I will say is you don't have to worry about the Dorito flag of death with me. I'm locked in for 90 minutes every game.
Nice.
No injuries.
Nice, nice,
Don't jinx it.
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one question I want to ask Patrick. So this is your first season. So, like, when and how did you come up to join a Twitter? Because like I've been playing this game like for 12 or 13 years, and I got this Twitter after 12 years of I played FPL. So, how did you come to Twitter, and like how did it happen?
Join the community. Yeah.
So, well, I guess I'll start with joining FPL to start. My Tuesday night league said he wanted to have a little small buy-in money league. And I was like, sure, I'll join. I watch it anyway, so why not? And then I was kind of neck and neck with this. My money league leader was about 20 points ahead of me, and he was making some weird moves. When people were hopping off an asset, he was hopping on, or when people were attacking a Chelsea defenders, he was going with the less nailed like Shalaba or things like that. And I was like, he keeps getting these points, returns. How is he still ahead of me? And so I felt like I needed to get an edge, I guess. And I felt like Twitter was a good way to do it, get more information. That's what I did.
Well, it's working. That's for sure.
And we got a host of FPL USA, right? So that's the good part. Or co-host. Yeah. So.
I'm very happy I joined. I mean, it's been the highlight of my season, definitely, at FPL USA.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
All right. Anything else that you guys want to know about Patrick, or any of the viewers have anything to ask to Patrick? I see Tanbir here, Dan, the FPL fan, he's here. Few others are here that I don't see the names of, but we have 6 or 7 viewers right at this moment. If not anything else, let's move on. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So next we'll just casually talking about our seasons. This is, of course, there are still 3 more games to go in game week 37 tomorrow. But just before that, since we are all here, so why not talk about our seasons? What went well, what could have gone better, and what we want to improve next season potentially. So I'll start with myself, right? So again, like Wrangler, I have been playing this game forever. I think this is my 11th or 12th season. I forgot. Uh, I was never nearly as serious as I was this season for sure. So both of us were very much casuals. All we cared about were some mini leagues that like amongst our friends and so on. uh, Never even thought about the overall rank, right? The OR thing was kind of all new to me last season. I didn't even ever thought about OR. But of course, this season, since we took this seriously, since we started doing our pod, uh, it helped me a lot to kind of understand the data, understand the stats, listen to people, listen different thought processes, and kind of eventually make my own decision. So it has definitely helped me a lot. Currently, I am at my best ever ranking. My previous best was 40K OR. I'm within 30K right now. So I'm really happy with that. Could have been better. Again, made some wrong choice with captaincies. My captaincy points would have looked a lot worse if not for Ronaldo and so on in the last few weeks. They look it make better, but it was really, I made some really terrible captaincy choices earlier in the season. So that's something that I really want to improve on next season. And like wherever, so like all the top guys who are in the uh, top 100 or top 10K, top 20K in general have made very good captaincy choices, right? So no matter what, how many good players you have in your team, and a lot of times it's very template across the board, right? Everyone has like 80%, 85% template teams. So if your captaincy choice is wrong, you pretty much are on the wrong side of it, right? So that's something definitely next season I want to improve on, spend a little more time on thinking about captaincy, who the best captaincy choices are, playing it safe sometimes, and also taking the risk when I need to kind of balance that out a little better. Uh, I have taken a lot more hits than I wanted to in the beginning of the season, and I think first 10 or 11 game weeks I only took like -4 or -8 hit, -8 I think. But as soon as COVID hit, COVID broke out, and it kind of all went down, took a downturn. So overall, I have taken 84 points hit. I want to improve on that next season as well. Hopefully, it'll be a more normal-ish season, not with as much COVID and so on. But yeah, those are the two things that I definitely want to work on next season: captaincy and taking a lot less hits. Definitely. Wrangler, what about you?
Yeah, it was like again, um, as I told you, this is my 13th season, and I didn't know about overall ranking until this season. To be honest, I didn't have any clue what does OR mean. So me, ZD, and Kante were in the mini league, where ZD has been always top. He has been always first, so he's very good. So from last year, I took it a little bit seriously, but this year it was, I mean, it was very serious. I took it very seriously. I came to know about Twitter, all the contents. I didn't know about this at all. So this was a very memorable season for me. There are a lot of things, rather, rather FPL, and then sorry, under the radar, and then FPL USA. A lot of things will help me also to, I think, to do it better, I would say, than previous. So this is also my highest rank so far. So I am right now at 10K. It's not 4 digits, so it doesn't count because it's 10.8K or something like that. But I've been sitting there like for 9 game weeks. I mean, I think you guys know that I've been complaining about that. Like, this is my ninth consecutive game weeks where I've been hanging in like between 15K or 10K. So hopefully I'll be able to, let's see, I'll be able to break that 4 digit barrier. So this season I have improved in terms of taking hits. Although this season is a hit season, but last season I remember I took like 120-ish point hits. So as
Mhm.
you can see, I took 60 points only. So I reduced like 50% hit this season. So I think that helped me a lot.
Being patient helps, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So this season again, people took a lot of hits, but I actually took less, and that's another place actually I thought I can improve, even taking even lesser hits than this. So that's one thing I thought, and another thing I felt, I've been too much defensive sometimes. Like, I could have probably attacked, but I was kind of, took it went for a safe game. Sometimes I played like EO game. Sometimes, thought about, okay, about my ranking as well, where I could have attacked. So I have to kind of find a good balance between being patient as well as like chasing the upside. That's very important, like Eller, late riser. So that thing I think I have to work on in the next season. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy about my current season so far.
Nice, nice. I'll just quickly talk about ZD. Of course, he couldn't join us today. He wanted to. He's in Bangladesh, and but he felt sick, so at the last moment he had to pull out. But he, as Wrangler said, he's a very good player. We have been playing with him in our mini league for last 3-4 years. He always comes top. This season he was doing very good earlier in the season as well. The middle of the season, as you see, kind of his captaincy points are kind of little on the lower side. He took a few punts with Kane again, went against Salah, that didn't come out well, but could have easily, right? Kane still had good numbers, it just didn't show up. So unfortunate for the guy, poor guy. But I'm pretty sure he will do again very well next season. Again, well within 50K to achieve 50K this season as well. Uh, but yeah, so of course, he has been a big part of our under the radar FPL as well, as we saw said in the beginning. He pushed us, right? He was the one to push me and Wrangler and saying that, hey, let's just do this. So, and again, we always take advices from him. He's kind of our background advisor whenever we have any dilemma about transfers or anything. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll do a lot better next season. Dan, you
Yeah.
what do you
Well,
want to talk
in
about yourself?
terms of original overall ranking, I am experiencing my worst one in a few years. I'm at 93k currently. It'd be quite easy to look at that and say I'm having a bad season, but honestly, it's three things that have made it that bad of a rank. You can see my XG data there is 20k. So I honestly think I've been very unlucky and made one terrible decision.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I have never owned Kevin De Bruyne. That's really screwed me over this year. I'm also one of those people that took out Son right before he went crazy, and I did that to fund Cancelo. So while in theory that was a decent move, I never expected Son just to go crazy and just get all of those points, and then people captained him.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped in 3 game weeks from 30k to 95k in 3 game weeks. If I just had
Crazy.
Son in my team and captained him like I would have, I would have been at probably around 25k right now. So it's been a huge swing the last 3 game weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my chip usage has been terrible this year because we got given that free extra free hit.
Yeah.
I got all excited thinking, oh, I'll just use this. No one else is going to use proper strategy to use this. And it turns out people did. People were patient and they used it towards the end of the season. Whereas I just used it whenever I wanted to. So I think next year I just really need to be patient in terms of chip usage. And my luck, I assume my variance is going to just naturally be better next season, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
I've also took way too many hits this year. It's kind of the season of the hits because of all the crazy double game weeks and things
Yeah.
like that. So I'm not too bothered about my hits
Mm-hmm.
because, as you can see, I could still easily be 20k right now.
Yep.
So yeah, I honestly think the Sun decision was a bad decision, and I should have been patient with my chips. But other
Yeah, I
than that,
was. You know, I was envying you, like when you had both Son and Kane back
yeah,
in game week like 26 to 30 time
yeah,
frame, right? You were one of the very few guys who had both of
yeah,
them, right?
yeah,
And they were like smashing it, still smashing it,
they
right?
were smashing it. And then I
Yeah.
thought, you know what, though, I want some double game week players, and I want
Mm-hmm.
Cancelo back. And the only way I could do it was to take out Sun or Salah. I should
Yeah.
have took out Salah in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
but I took out Sun. And I knew he would get points still, and I would drop a bit of rank, but I never expected 19 points, 21 points, 25 points.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really screwed me over this year. Um, so yeah, my captaincy look, it's not too bad. It's the second best here. So if you take out all of the double game weeks,
Yeah.
I think my knowledge of picking the right players is actually very good. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just very bad at chip usage, like I said. So next season, top 50k, top 20k, you watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember then. Like, I mean, I think it was Man United double game week, and you, I think, sold Son for Sancho, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
then you funded for Cancelo.
yeah. So
We
the
had,
way I like to say it is, I didn't sell Son for Sancho. I sold I sold, who was it? Someone bad for Cancelo, and I used Son to Sancho to fund that. That's how I
Yeah.
like to say it.
right, yeah, definitely. I mean, basically, like, you wanted to fund Cancelo.
Yeah,
That was the thing. And also
yeah,
at the same time, like there was a like double game week for Man United. So why not,
right.
right? So
And I
so
had a feeling about Sancho. I just thought, you know what, he's going to start both games. He might get a couple of goals, and he was so close to getting a haul. He really
oh yeah,
was.
absolutely.
He could have
So yeah,
easily
that
got
was
a
a
haul.
very good pick actually at that time. On pen and paper, like you got Cancelo and you got double game week player, and Son was not really good shape at that moment, right? Everybody was talking about you sell
Everyone was
Son
yeah,
to Spain even, right? We
exactly.
had these discussions. So
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
in
it's just
hindsight, it looks like a terrible decision, but it made sense at the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my mistake was not admitting my mistake and bringing him straight back in. I was stubborn. I was like, you know what? He's not going to get 19 points every week. And he did. So, however,
Yeah.
I really don't care about my original rank this season because, like I shared in my tweets today, the season's been so great for so many reasons, non FPL related.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm very happy with this season and I will come back a better manager next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Derek is saying cannot wait for Dan to get the four digit
That's
rank
because I
this season.
stupidly said on Spaces that if I get a 4-digit rank, I will howl like a wolf because somebody asked for me to do that for some reason.
Yeah,
But we'll see if that happens. It's
yeah.
getting more and more tough, I feel, each year to get a good rank now. I think top 10K is usually the golden rank that people aim for, but I really think top 50K going forward, you should be very happy with top 50K.
Yep, absolutely. I
And
mean,
all
there has
the
been a lot of talk about it, right? 10K was probably the gold standard like 2, 3, 4 years ago.
yeah,
There are so many engaged managers, good managers nowadays, and so much availability of data and everything, right? So
yeah,
there are just it's very difficult to get into 50K. You
yeah.
have to have some luck even get into 50K, right? So
I mean, we have
absolutely,
over 9 million managers now, so in the top 50K, you're doing pretty good.
absolutely.
Especially this season, you've had a lot of the most popular content creators do amazingly
Very
well,
good.
and you have a lot of people
Copying their
copy
teams
their
also.
teams or follow their advice. You have like Andy doing well. You have FPL mates in the top 100. You have like you have Andy Martin. They're all doing really good. So
Is there a content creator that's doing poorly?
I don't think so. I
I
think
can't think of one. At least
maybe
that
APL Harry is also doing very good, right?
yeah.
right.
Um,
I think I
yeah,
looked at the Content Creators League, and the only one that's currently below me is FF Scout Mark.
Mark Southerns. Yeah,
Mark, yeah. Other
it
than
was a
that,
really poor season for him. Yeah.
but it happens. Like you saw, like I said on the last stream, Late Riser was what 650K last season.
Last season. Yep. Yep.
It happens to the best of managers, so I'm really not worried. I'm still hopefully going to finish 5 digits. We'll see. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but I really don't care.
Correct. All right.
Ante, do you wanna answer one question from Tanvir, like about the
Yeah.
XG data?
Yeah, I
I was
saw that.
just about to get into that.
Let's get to Patrick first, and then we'll come to the
Yeah.
question. I saw that. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. All right,
Okay.
Patrick. Why not you talk about your first FPL season ever? How did it go?
Well, I can't be disappointed at all. I'm in the top 4K right now, with the free hit still going along. I expect that to rise maybe after the end of 37, given the amount of players that I have left if they play. But I certainly cannot complain given my expected goals data, and every one of the models has me at a lower rank. I've obviously been a little bit lucky this year. Now my variance has gone up a good bit between 36 and 37. I think I scored roughly 30 points higher than expected, using Surtop's model in 36, and I haven't checked what my net gain versus expected was for 37, but that's definitely increased my variance. I think I looked several weeks ago, I was around 80, 85, somewhere around there, which is still very lucky. But certainly these past 2 weeks have rocketed both my rank and my variance. But I'm very happy about this first season. Obviously, a lot could have gone wrong, not really knowing the strategy involved. I felt like I took too many hits, especially early on, not understanding that it's okay to leave Simicast in there an extra week. I took a -4 to take him out just so I could get that 0.1 extra in team value. Like, was that necessary for a -4? No. Should I have taken -4s to chase some points with Antonio or Ben Rama or Bernardo, knowing KDB was coming back? No, I shouldn't have done that. But it's part of the learning experience, and you come back a better manager, as Dan was saying. Another thing I didn't like that I did was around game week 30-ish, maybe 29, was getting rid of players that I had lots of value in, knowing that I could get them back on wildcard a few weeks later. In theory, that's a good idea. But if you're losing 0.5 team value on 2 players, that's a whole
A lot of
million.
money.
I mean, that's a lot of money to just kind of punt. So I killed my team value in order to chase that short-term upside. And I did get gains from that, but I don't think it was worth gutting my team value. Things I did well. Patience in terms of chips, definitely for the free hit and wild card. There was a point when on the free hit, I thought I waited too long, especially for the second one with 37. It wasn't supposed to be this much of a gain for the free hitters. It turned out the variance went in our favor, but I thought I was very patient with my chips. I had a strategy, and I executed that strategy. And another thing is not trying to gain team value via early transfers. I thought I did a good job of waiting to the very last second, especially with all the COVID cases and last minute changes. It was really necessary to wait to the last second, and I did a good job about that. That is probably difficult for a lot of first year managers to have the patience to wait.
You've done incredibly well for your first season. There's no way you should be unhappy with anything you've done. To be in the top 5K
No.
on your very first season, especially in such a crazy, as someone said in the chat, it's a very volatile season. So many double game weeks, so many COVID cases, so much variance. You've done extremely well.
Thank you.
So yeah,
I'm
and you
definitely,
really know what you're talking
excited
about.
about the rank.
You keep saying luck, but it's a little bit of luck. But you also really know what you're talking about. We're on Spaces every week, so give yourself some credit for sure.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely,
that.
absolutely. You have to take the credit, and I mean, sometimes like Wrangler and I talk about it, and we oftentimes we overthink things a little bit, a lot more than we should. You don't, at least the decision making that I have seen from you over the last few game weeks, whenever we have interacted, you kind of think a lot more like straightforward than a lot of us. So you have to take credit for that, right? Decision making. This game is all about decision making, right? So you have to take credit for that. Absolutely. So one question. So did you or do you watch more Premier League games since you started playing FPL? Because I know I do, right? I know
Definitely.
I watched like unnecessary games like Burnley versus
Like,
Crystal Palace.
Burnley
I
or
would not
Watford.
have. I would not have tuned into Burnley versus Watford any other time.
Something
but
like that. Absolutely right. Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
And that was the Friday deadline. That
Yeah.
was a Friday deadline game, and that was the first game of the week, and we all captain
Dennis
either
or King.
Dennis or King,
So,
and
yeah.
then it's all right.
Yeah, I find myself waking up at 4 a.m. to watch Burnley and Watford, and I watch the entire game. It's like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So I will get back to the question of Tanvir. So he was asking what the XG model is, XG data model is. So it's basically what if all your players in your FPL team would have scored the points according to their underlying XG or XA data, right? X assist and expected goal data. So that's basically what the XG model is. And the other two models are basically FPL reviews models. So they are data analytics. So they have a little more than XG and XA. They have X minutes, they have the opponent's statistics, and so on. So, of course, a little more complicated than just doing XG and XA. But I mean, they are all good predictors, right? As we see here, more or less, they are good predictors of what you are doing in your season. They're not too far off. But yeah, that's what the models are. So let's move on, guys. Anything else that you want to touch on your seasons? If not, let's
No,
move to the next topic.
if you look in the chat, you will see White Wolf. That is actually Mrs. Black Wolf.
Oh, welcome, Mrs. Blackwolf.
We need to convince her to play next year because she knows what she's talking about. But
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
we need to get her into the space, right? First of all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Okay, so now the fun part is over. Now we'll talk about numbers and games that are coming. Only one game week left, as I said before. Still 3 games left. In game week 37, Aston Villa Burnley plays tomorrow. Everton plays Crystal Palace, and then Chelsea plays Leicester. Those are the 3 fixtures for tomorrow. Before we get into game week 38, which is Sunday, so and a lot to play on the line, right? So there are UCL places on the line. There is Europa places on the line. There are relegation. The relegation battle is still on. Of course, Norwich and Watford are out, but Burnley, Everton, and Leeds are still fighting for that last for avoiding that last relegation place. So a lot to play for, right? So league state is going to be very, very important, more important than ever this game week 38, right? A lot of times by the time we get to game week 38, it's all decided by then. But this season, it's definitely not, right? So tomorrow, if Everton wins, of course, they are going to be safe, 100% safe, mathematically safe. So they are out of the relegation battle, but still a lot to play for. So as of now, I was just looking at the fixtures as it all stands right now. The only fixture that doesn't mean anything at all in game week 38 is the Leicester versus Southampton fixture. Nothing depends on that, right? So other than that, all the 9 fixtures, again, as of now, if everything stands, if we move on to game week 38 where we are now,
Mm.
all of those fixtures will mean something, right? All the other 9 fixtures. Of
No,
course,
actually, Chelsea versus Watford. Yeah, sorry.
if Chelsea wins tomorrow, then I mean, of course, they have their Champions League place, but they would still want to be in the third place. Tuchel actually said that in his press conference. I can imagine them going for the third place. See, unless they win tomorrow, they still have to play for that in the last game, right? And all the 7 top teams in the league, they don't play each other. So the Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Manu, and West Ham, they are not playing each other. None of the games are against each other, right? So they have, and a lot of them have still to play for something. Man City and Liverpool, of course, for the trophy, and then Chelsea for the third place, Tottenham and Arsenal for the UCL position, Manu and West Ham for the Europa position, right? So all those 7 means something, and then of course the relegation battle, uh, Burnley and Leeds, both those games. So Burnley plays Newcastle and Leeds plays Brentford, right? So all games in one way or another means something. It doesn't generally happen, right? By the time you get to game 38.
Yeah.
So really exciting times, right? So what we want to do here is basically just casually talk about the fixtures, what we think the games are going to be like, what your prediction is, or how you think like how attacking or how defensive the games are going to be. Briefly, I know the burning questions guys did a very well in-depth analysis of each game. We are not going to go that deep, but just kind of touching on each of the schedule and what we think of these fixtures. So Arsenal versus Everton, first fixture, or I mean, basically all the games happen at the same time. So uh, I personally think that Arsenal, I mean, has to go for it, right? And if Everton loses tomorrow, then it becomes even more so interesting. Both teams have to pretty much go for it because Everton cannot uh, draw and still be safe, right? So there is a possibility that can go wrong. So I think both teams would go for it if the results tomorrow doesn't go for Everton, but Arsenal have to go for it no matter what, right? What do you guys think, Dan? How do you think this game goes?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this depends on Everton's game tomorrow.
Mhm.
Because if Everton lose or draw tomorrow, I really see them giving Arsenal a very good game. I wouldn't
Mhm.
be surprised if they beat them either. So, yeah, this game all depends on tomorrow. But I for
Yeah,
sure see Everton giving Arsenal a very good game in this one. If I have Richarlison in my team, I would absolutely
yeah.
have no issues playing him
I was going
against
to
Arsenal.
ask that, like, if a lot of non-free hitters, especially have Richarlison or Gordon and so on, I think it's not a hard sell, right? You
No,
still keep them. Yeah. So.
I would definitely play Richarlison against Arsenal. Their defense hasn't been great.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's how I see that one going.
Okay. Next fixture, Brentford Leeds. Patrick, what do you think? How is it going to go?
So Leeds has to go for this one, obviously. I feel like it's going to be a fairly open game, and Brentford's going to have a lot of opportunities to bang in goals as well. I see this one being kind of fairly high scoring, um, which I see their opportunities for a Tony Hall
Mhm.
because not only is it going to be high scoring, I think Leeds could be a little bit cagey and give a penalty. Tony takes that. So I think this one could be like a 2-2-3-3. kind of deal.
Easily.
Well,
Wrangler?
it might not be though, right? Because it will depend on how Burnley do tomorrow. If Burnley lose,
Right.
and then in the, I mean, again they will get the news from the Burnley versus Newcastle game too, right? And that's where if that game remain draw, lead doesn't need to actually be open. I mean, they can keep it like quite tight shape in defensively as well. That Marsh has been doing after he joined. So I think it's going to depend on the other game too, and definitely lead
Absolutely.
will try to win and make sure to nail it down. But they might not even open as like as we are thinking. They might think to at least keep. You know,
But
West Ham.
even if what am I saying? Even if Burnley lose tomorrow,
Mhm.
the only way they guarantee they're up is if they win.
No, I think if Burnley lose again or again lose against Newcastle in 38, then Leeds they'll be 1 point ahead of them.
Leeds are 1 point above right now, right? So
Yeah.
Right, but it's
So yeah,
happening
I
at the
mean
same
Burnley have to lose
time.
two
It's
games, right? Yeah.
yeah, lot to take, of course. I mean, I think, I mean, Leeds in their gene, they are an attacking team. Of course, under March they are not as attacking, but still in kind of in their gene, right? They would go for it whenever they get the chance. They have those players, right? The attacking players. But yeah, this could easily be a very high scoring game or could be a very boring game. It could go
Yeah,
either
I
way.
mean, Brentford are at home. It's their last home game of the season.
Hmm.
Teams tend to try to give their fans a show, I feel, on the last home game of the season. So I wouldn't
Absolutely.
be surprised if Brentford just go all out attack on this one. I
Praz,
really
Yeah.
wouldn't.
was it Praz? I think he made a great comment on the fact that these two clubs were fighting in the championship to go up
Mhm.
several years ago, and that Brentford might want to just kick them back down, and they get up for that reason. So that
Yeah.
was a
Yeah,
great point by Praz.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
There's a
Brentford
lot of
are really up
history.
for this game. Yeah.
A lot of history there. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the next game. Brighton West Ham. Wrangler, how do you see this game going? Not much from a PL perspective, maybe, but
Yeah, I think
this
it's
one.
gonna be. I mean, Brighton is gonna give a good show. They have been doing really good, uh, especially recently, and that's their last home game again, right? So I think they will definitely try to be up to the mark. But again, West Ham is needs to also win if they want to be within Europa, right?
Mhm.
I mean, although like if Man United even win, then they don't have any hope. But if Man United draw, then if they win, they're gonna go for the Europa. So I think West Ham is gonna go for win here. They don't have any option, and they will try to go for Europa. So it's gonna be interesting in that sense that David Moyes is gonna give the last chance to go for the Europa. So it might be, I don't know. I mean, probably 1-2. I mean, West Ham is gonna go win. That's I think here. So it's gonna be 1-2 maybe. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Bowen has been a really nice differential the past few weeks. He went totally under the radar,
Yeah.
um, like the name of your show, Under the Radar. Bowen has totally
Very
gone under
much
the
under the
radar.
radar.
I
Yeah.
see him scoring against Brighton again.
Yeah. I
Um,
expect so too.
And Trossard has had a knack of hauling these past few game weeks as well, though.
that's so annoying. Because I held Trossard for so long when
Oh,
Brighton had their double game week and he got like 1 point. So it was really frustrating to see him actually finally do what we've all been thinking he can do.
Hmm.
Yeah, same here. I also got rid of him. I think in game week 30 ish, and after that, he started doing this all
Yeah,
thing.
typical.
Yep. All right. So next game, Burnley Newcastle. So this one is, of course, Burnley. Especially if they lose tomorrow, they have to uh, kind of win. But and I agree with the burning questions, guys, as they say, like if Burnley opens up, if they want to attack, Newcastle has the characters or the players that can absolutely destroy them, right? Like Burnley doesn't even have their main center backs and so on. So if Burnley has to go for it, and if they do go for the attack, I think Newcastle can absolutely kill the game. They just have the players, right? Of the right players. Wilson is back. Maximin is playing great. So yeah, I see the game going very much that way, unless Burnley just shuts shop and uh, sits at the back, right? What do you guys think?
So this again, I think I feel like Tanvir was saying all the games are all to like at the same time, but again, they get news from like what's
Yeah,
going on, and again, Burnley, in if they make draw and if Leeds is losing in goal difference, Burnley will be ahead of them. Okay, so it's gonna be again depend on like what's going on in the Leeds game, and they will actually get this news. Yeah, definitely. First of all, they will try not to try concede. That's their first motive will be there, and then depending on other game what's going on, they will probably open up. And again, I think Pras mentioned today in the Burning series that if Burnley opens up, then they're gonna lose for sure because I mean Newcastle is gonna kind of kill them. So they will try to make their defensive shape well, and depending on other games state, they might go for win or whatever it is. And I think that's how it might be. They might not go very open. They might probably see what's going on in the other game. So
yeah.
yeah, that's
Let's
my
not
thought.
talk about this game too much because this has barely any FPL interest, right? So let's move on to the next one, which could have a lot of interest. Chelsea versus Watford, right? Uh, this can, I mean, again, it depends on what Chelsea lines up with tomorrow. Wrangler and I were talking, right? So if Chelsea plays the kids tomorrow versus Leicester, then they probably, for the last home game, again, as Dan said, they would just field the full strength 11. But if the other thing happens, if they are going for ensuring the third place tomorrow, play the main guys, there could be a massive rotation for 38, right? Because the game is in just 2 days. So that's interesting. A lot of us have Mount. Wrangler, you have Mount. So a lot of us have the Chelsea defenders. Very good fixture from like high level 30,000 feet perspective for Chelsea. But again, it really depends on what team Tuchel is going to select for game 38, right? Patrick, what do you think? How are you targeting anyone from this fixture predicament?
I think there's a couple players that I could target, and Mount and Lukaku are certainly two of them. And then a spicy differential, if you get confirmation that he'll start, is Pulisic. Um, he had quite a few opportunities in the most
Mhm.
or in the cup, I think.
In the cup final,
Um,
yeah.
he bottled them all, but he had a quite a few opportunities.
I mean,
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure. I completely agree about them rotating too much because it's the last game of the season, right? They don't have any
Last
games
home
after that,
game. Last
Last
home
and
home
game
it's
game,
the last
yeah.
too.
home game. I see no reason for them to just play their best team and put on a show. If I'm honest, I mean I could
I
be completely
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, yeah, the only thing is that they played 120 minutes against Liverpool
Yeah,
Saturday, which was like 4 days ago, and then this, and then after 2 days they're playing another game, right? So, well, yeah, I don't expect it to be like wholly rotated team, but at least some of the players who played 120 minutes in the Liverpool game, either they sit out tomorrow or some of them sit out in this game.
yeah,
That's my expectation, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll want to play the fan favorites like Mount and James in the last home game, and then testimonials obviously as well.
Alonso
Play
too, right? So
Alonso
last
for
last game for Alonso. Yeah, for the
yes,
Chelsea shirt. Yeah.
Alonso,
Rudiger,
Asp too, Rudiger.
Rudiger, yeah,
I guess
Rudiger.
it's they're pretty much their
Yeah, I think
starting.
most of the popular APL assets are pretty much keep, unless you hear something that there is going to be mass rotation or something.
Yeah,
Mount, James Alonso, all of them should start.
yeah.
All right, next game, Crystal Palace Man United. Again, probably not a lot of interest from a PL perspective, but Manu still has a chance to play the Europa. They're in pole position right now, so if they win, they play Europa, right? Wrangler, you as and Patrick as Man United supporters, how do you guys see this game going?
Patrick, you wanna take it? I don't want to talk about it.
I can
You guys
take
don't
it.
want to talk about Man U? Come on.
I don't want to talk about menu. Um, so I think we've had what is it 10 or so days because we
Mhm.
blanked this week to prepare for this one. We know we
Yeah.
have to win to secure Europa.
Mhm.
Um, I think Ronaldo's going to have the right mindset in the dressing room um, to get up for this game. It's not a home game, but I think they'll have the right mindset to get up for this game and get the win. I know a lot of people are not predicting they get the win or predict they bottle it, but I think they do.
I will say one thing for people that did not free hit in 37. A lot of people are going to have Zaha. He is a keep for me against Manchester United at home.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
For sure.
His former,
Some people are debating
one of his
selling
former
him.
clubs.
I would not. He's gonna, yeah, one of his former clubs, a club that did not give him a chance.
Right?
He's always fired up to play Man United, and it's the
A lot
last
of
home game.
motivation there. Yeah.
I would totally keep him. I see in the chat,
100%.
Dan is doing the same thing. I feel like me and him have the same name and the same ideas a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
Vic has in the chat too. He lives near me, and we're going to be meeting at the meetup on Sunday. So hey, Vikas.
I love it. All right. Wrangler, you want to add anything for the Man United game?
No, I think here I see it's gonna be like 2-2 each game. Like it might be a draw, but it's gonna like Man United is gonna concede for sure. Okay, so it might be 2-1 or 2-2. Yeah, so something like that. And Ronaldo is gonna score. That's my hope. And Zaha is a keep for sure.
100%.
Definitely agree on Zaha.
You poor Man United fans. Yeah.
All right. The next one, Leicester and Southampton, from a league state perspective, doesn't mean anything at all. That's the only game that cannot mean anything at all. But there could again be a lot of FPL interest, right? Some people got Vardy in this week. A lot of people have Madison, the non-free hitters. Uh, so yeah, a lot of interest there, right? So Dan, you thinking of that particular fixture for game 38 for your team?
I mean, if I had Leicester assets, I would totally keep them.
Mm-hmm.
I might think about bringing in someone like Madison, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I probably just
Not
won't go
much.
there because to get someone like Vardy, I would need to sell Kane, and I'm not going to do that against Norwich.
Correct.
So unless I do a straight swap, and you'll see my team later on, I do talk about Madison. But yeah, I think Leicester assets are good to have, but I wouldn't sacrifice a Spurs asset to do it.
Absolutely.
Or Zaha, actually. I'd keep Zaha over bringing Madison in. I really would.
Mm-hmm. Patrick, how do you see the game going?
I agree that Madison's a player that I'd like to target. I have him on my free hit. I'd like him in my team, but it may not happen. And then Vardy's another player that I am targeting. If I take a -4, he's one that I'd be looking for if Salah's rested. And if there is a scenario where I'd even go for a Barnes to fund a move for a higher premium than Vardy. I think that one's obvious who that is, but I think all three Leicester assets are very good.
Yeah, that leads to maybe you can answer Vicas's question in the chat, Patrick, because it's very relevant to what you've just said. Would you punt on Martinelli over Barnes or Madison?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd punt on Martinelli over Barnes or Madison. Well, because we know that he's likely to start because he came off the bench the previous game.
Yeah,
is that right?
that's right.
So I'm just not convinced that Arsenal's mindset's in the right place. I know they have to go for the game, but after two crushing defeats, it's hard to change that mindset.
Yeah, I would definitely have a Maddie or a Barnes over Martinelli for 38.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right. Okay, so next game. Are there any other questions? We'll get to that. The next game is Liverpool versus Wolves. Again, a lot of interest in this game. Of course, Liverpool has their big game against Real Madrid just 6 days after this. Salah injury is especially for the owners, whoever of us own Salah. It's pretty big news for us. Whether he's fit or not would mean where our transfer direction is going to be, right, for a lot of us. So, but in general, of course, it's the fixture to target, right? And as before the video talking about Wolves, says defensive numbers have not been the best in the last few game weeks. And Dan, you can talk about it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of the game overall,
I
Liverpool?
mean, I've been saying it on Spaces for quite a while now that Wolves have been very lucky in terms of not conceding. When they had that really good period, everyone was targeting their defense, and they were getting a lot of clean sheets. But if you actually watched the games, they were so lucky to
Mm-hmm.
keep so many clean sheets. And I think it's finally catching up with them. We've been actually quite poor defensively, and lately we've just been awful all over the pitch. I don't know what's happened. So if you know which Liverpool players are starting, I would 100% put them in against Wolves. I see them really destroying us, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sad to say. The issue is who starts for Liverpool. That's the real issue here. Regardless of who starts, I see them beating Wolves. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jota start against Wolves. He loves to play against them. Um,
Yeah. Do you sell Salah if you don't get the confirmation that he starts?
yes, I think
Yes.
so.
Wrangler, yes. Say there is no team leak at all, no team news at all. Do you sell Salah?
Yeah, actually, that's the same question I asked to like the burning question. So I just wanted to have a confirmation bias too, because uh, Salah or KDB is the only route to go to Son. I'm going to show my team as well. So yeah, if there is nothing, I think I'm going to sell Salah. And again, this game is going to be, I mean, Liverpool is going to probably start with a full strength. But if Man City game, becomes like, in first half 2 to 3 goals, then Liverpool, I think Klopp is gonna, sub up his main players for the UCL. I mean, he's not gonna protect anyways. He's a very reasonable manager. Okay,
Mhm.
so their minutes might be managed. Who knows? So I will not take punt on that if Salah news is like kind of not very clear enough. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I've got to get 100% confirmation that he's starting for me to keep him. He's too expensive of an asset to have in the
Too much
final
money.
game
Yeah.
week
Absolutely.
to be
I
on the
agree.
bench or play 30 minutes.
100% agree. All right. Next game, Man City, Aston Villa. So of course, Man City, we all know, are great. Probably not the best fixture, but again, Man City are Man City. Uh, would you bring in any players, for example, for game week 38, especially if you don't have a KDB? Would Salah to KDB your priority at all, Dan?
If I had Salah, I would totally do Salah to KDB for this game. And if I already had Son, I would choose Son over KDB.
Mm-hmm.
But if I already had Son, then Salah to KDB is a no-brainer for me. I don't know who else I would pick on Man City outside of the likes of
Yeah.
Cancelo. It's very difficult to pick. You don't want to make a transfer last game of the season and for him not to play.
Yeah.
Jesus in his testimonial.
Maybe.
Mm, yeah.
Um, I see some people thinking that Aston Villa will give Man City a good game because of Gerrard and things like that, but
Mm.
Well,
I
wasn't there that
don't see
tweet
it.
that came out today that said that Villa gets an extra 15 million if
25,
they
yeah, 25 million.
25 million if Man City wins the title
Because
from
of the Grealish transfer. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if Grealish wins the title, they get an extra 25 or 15, whatever it was. I don't know if that's going to really affect them at all.
Too many narratives. Yeah. I
But
think, yeah, I mean, Aston Villa is a good
agendas.
team. Yeah. All agendas. So
Man
I,
City
I
are so good. They're at home. It's
yeah,
a game to win the title. I don't see anything other than
I
a
don't
big
either.
win. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. I don't see any other questions. So the last game, Spurs versus Norwich. Again, one of the big games to target for this game, especially. Um, so of course, if Salah is unfit, Son, as we said, of course, is going to be very popular. Uh, do you have all of you guys have any preference between Son and Kane for specifically this game? So if you had the choice to choose one between Son and Kane for 38, who do you go for?
Son for me.
It's Son for me. Chasing the golden
So,
boot,
Yeah,
in
same
They're
here.
form,
gonna be, yeah.
clinical finisher. It's got to be Son for me.
yeah, I just have this like if I do get Kane in, and again we'll talk about my team as well. Um, I just have this feeling again for the last game week. I want to put the captaincy on Kane if I do get him in over Son. I mean, of course, Son is in my team, and if he was not, he would still be probably the priority. But for captaincy, I just feel like that I would probably take that punt last game week. What could go wrong, right? So uh, again, just that tingly feeling, right, that Kane could outscore Son in this particular game. Um, Other than that, of course, there is some interest in the defense, Tottenham defense as well, right? Sessegnon being very cheap,
Yeah.
Emerson Royal maybe. Uh, Say for example, I have a defensive problem, right? I'm not quite big at the back, so I may need to go there, one of those Spurs boys. But yeah, that's pretty much about it, right? Anything else that we did not cover about any of the games? Of course, we'll talk about the fixtures to target a little more in the next one.
I don't think
Any other questions that we missed?
we have a few questions. If
Just the
Nihao says thoughts on Salah to Son and Richarlison to Vardy for a hit, I'd say yes on that one.
I would do that. 100%.
If Salah is not, if it's not leaked that
Confirmed.
Salah will start, I think that one's a no-brainer.
I would do that.
You got to make sure Vardy will start as well, though.
I think he will.
Surely he does last home game.
Yeah.
You never know if he. It's a quick turnaround, Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, I saw some leaks. I don't know how trusted the sources are that Madison, Vardy were not pictured in training for the game tomorrow. So they might be easily rested against Chelsea. Again, they don't have a lot to play for. I do see them playing the game of 38 game more than
Agreed.
37 versus Chelsea. But we'll know tomorrow. By tomorrow, we'll all know what team they're playing. But yeah, absolutely. That's a great transfer shot. Vardy and Son doesn't get better than that, right? So yeah.
By the way, world number 2 is here, and he said Kane and Diaz could be another option.
Luis Diaz. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't
so
he already own Diaz?
Salah plus
He does.
Richarlison
Yeah.
can be Kane plus Diaz, which is a good shout too.
It is a good shout.
I'm not going to say anything to that guy because I don't want to be in trouble if he loses the number 1 spot because of something I said. Quiet.
Yeah.
Vikas said he's on a free hit for 38. How many Spurs players would you get? 3.
I think I would get 3.
Kane, Son, and Sessegnon.
Yep.
Sounds
I have 2 in my regular bus team, and I'm worried not having a third.
Wow. I don't have any.
You have Emerson Royal, right?
I have Emerson and Son.
Son, of course. Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried if I had just Kane and Son. I wouldn't be worried about not bringing in a defender. But
That's
not
fair.
having Kane or Son would be scary, I think.
Right.
Okay.
We had another question from HQ. Should we double defense on Chelsea with James and Alonso?
I mean, if you do, I think it's not a buy now. We have to see tomorrow how they, line up. So they're not a urgent buy now. There are other options, you go for. I think Sessegnon
There are
would be
plenty more like exciting options elsewhere, right? I don't know if you especially for game week 38 whether you won't necessarily need to double up. It's a good fixture, and both James and Alonso can haul easily. But yeah, probably not the best buys as Randler said.
It's one of those I wouldn't sell, but I wouldn't buy a second defender.
Correct.
like I have triple up Chelsea, and I have to keep them. I have to both James and Alonso. I have to keep them because of
You have to.
Yeah, I'd rather go down to Sessegnon and have extra funds for something else.
Dan is saying I have Son and Kane, but something is tempting me to captain Mount. Great
Do
shot.
it.
I mean, there's nothing against that, right? So absolutely, Mount can go big, really big against Watford.
It also depends on what your goal is at this point. If you're fighting for a really good rank, then I probably wouldn't go against Kane and Son. But if you're just want to have fun with it on the last game of the season, if you're lower down in the ranks and just have a gut feeling, go with it because who cares really?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's Big Man Bucker. He had his 1 tweet about Mount that against smaller team or I think he had like average of 14 points or something like that. So Watford is one of them, right? So yeah.
He is a flat track bully. He's a proper flat track bully. Whenever he plays the smaller teams, he just destroys them.
7 goals and 4 assists against the bottom 3.
It's an equal total versus everyone else, I think, as well. I think it's
Yeah.
the reverse: 4 goals, 7 assists for
Correct.
everyone else.
Correct. You're right.
Oh, okay.
It's,
All right. So
Yep.
we have spoken about the fixtures, just the matchup. Wrangler, you just want to quickly touch upon that? We have spoken about most of it, but
Yeah.
any fixture that we need to specifically talk about?
No, yeah, I mean, basically, we covered most of them. And again, this chart, who are the like regular viewers, you already know that the x is the xg of each team, and yx is the xg considered of the opponent.
Mhm.
And here we did this time like based on the venues, like home or away. So, for example, like Man City is playing at home versus Aston Villa. So we took the xg average of Man City whenever they played home over the season, and the XG considered of Aston Villa whenever they played away. So since the home and away played a big role, right? So again, that there are four boxes or four quadrant. Top right is the best option. Like you have good offense, and the opponent is a bad defense. And as you can see, like the teams that we are talking, right? Arsenal, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Tottenham, and Leicester City are also kind of borderline in that region. So those are the team actually have very good matchup in this week. Man City and Liverpool are in the fourth quadrant where they have a good offense, but the opponent defense has been good over the season. But if you see in the inset, like the box, like another chart, which shows the last 10 EPL matches data for XG considered, like Wolves actually in 19th. Sorry, Dan. So they are actually in the 19th in terms of defense. So Liverpool actually have very good fixture, in terms of that as well. And as you can see, right, in the if you see the box plot again, it's Norwich, Wolves, Leeds, Southampton, Man United. Those are the like bottom five teams in terms of XG considered, and their opponents are like Spurs, Liverpool, Brentford, Leicester City, Crystal Palace. So those are the teams actually we just talked about, and they have a really good matchup. While in third quadrant, like bottom left, like teams like Everton, Wolves, Aston Villa, Watford, those are bad offense, and their opponents have good defense as well, right? So they are playing against the good teams. So that's why like player like Coutinho from the Aston Villa probably a sell, because you can buy Mount,
100% SL, I
Alisson,
would say.
right?
Agree.
So yeah, and those are like Richarlison. If it is a league state, becomes like they have to win in the last game, then definitely you keep him. Otherwise, if they go to the beach after the win in tomorrow, then I don't know. I mean, you might think, as Nehal was mentioning, right, that get rid of Richardson and getting like upgrade to Vardy or Kane, maybe. You can probably do that. So those are the kind of like matchup. I mean, coincidentally, also like it falls pretty much well with the game week 38 fixture. So yeah, I think those are the team you target in the top right corner, and uh, we already are well set up, or people are probably thinking to get those players from those teams.
Yeah,
And
the Crystal Palace United is of course interesting, as we said before as well. If you have
yeah,
someone like Zaha, you just play him, right? No need to sell him. It's a very good fixture. Man United has been
yeah.
very, very, very poor defensively
Leaky,
over the
leaky.
last few
Yeah.
games.
And I think
And
like we free hitted, but those who didn't free hit, they brought Zaha because of game week 38 there in their mind, right?
more so
Because
than anything else,
yeah,
yes.
because that's why it was a good fixture for them both in 37 as well as 38. So yeah, just keep it.
All right, let's move on. Players, again, we have spoken about most of them, and the way you did it, Wrangler, is we already filtered out the bad or badish players. So these are all good players, all good options. Over the season, all of them have done well. Over the last 10 games or so, they have all done well. But again, it's basically how much risk appetite you have for game 38. Right? Some of these players we already have spoken about. Some of them are very obvious, like the likes of Son and Kane, and KDB, and so on. But of course, there are some nice punts, right? We spoke about Tony briefly, especially against leaky Leeds. That could be a very, very good punt, right? So I would just go around the table, right? If you have to pick like three, not really out of the box, but like three fine kind of fun punts for Game Week 38, who they would be. Dan, you first.
Tony, for sure. Christian Eriksen and Jota.
Interesting. You think
Three
Jota
out,
starts?
3 out of the box picks.
You think Jota starts?
Against Wolves, yes. I mean, I could very if he starts against Wolves, I would want him in my team.
Yeah.
I always feel like players against the X teams seem to just turn it on.
Extra motivation, right? Yeah.
I mean, you remember last time he played Wolves, he missed that golden opportunity, but he could have easily got a massive haul against us. So if he starts, Jota would be in my team.
Yes. Patrick?
So there's some overlap with mine, so I'm gonna pick different ones.
Okay.
I will go DS with Liverpool. I feel like they're gonna play their starting three that they're gonna play in the UCL final. DS, Mane, and Salah, if Salah's fit, of course. So I think DS is one. I will go with Jesus testimonial. I said it before. I'll go him for a second. And then a third. Who can be a third? Oh, I already said if he starts, Pulisic.
Good shouts. Wrangler?
Yeah, it overlaps pretty much well with them. Tony, I'll get Tony. I'm gonna get Luis Diaz as well and Vardy. Those are the three I would pick if I would think out of the box.
Okay. I have something I have been talking about him for some time, at least with you, Wrangler, Lukaku. He has not been very good over the season, but I just feel like, again, last home game, if he plays, if Havertz is out, he 100% starts. And he has looked pretty well in the last few games, in the last couple of games, especially. I think Lukaku can easily go big, especially against a very, very leaky Watford. They have literally down to their second, third tier team. I don't even know what team they would play in the last game, right? I don't think they have anything to play for. So Lukaku can go really big if, and I think he starts. Next would be, I think, Mbeumo maybe. Again, kind of that outside punt, right? I think just he has looked a good player all season, right? So he has hit the bar so many times. Was so disappointing for a lot of us when we had him, but I think it can be a very good fixture for him against Leeds. Who else? I think I want to repeat Ericsson again. Two Brentford players, but I think one of them can easily go big against Leeds, either Ericsson or Mbeumo, or maybe both. But yeah, those are my kind of complete outside punts. But of course, we'll talk about our teams and who we want to target. And anyone in the chat, if you have any outside punt that we completely missed or we did not talk about, any asset that you think is really exciting for Game Week 38,
Nehal mentioned Madison, Tony, and Zaha.
Madison, Tony, Zaha. Okay.
We talked about 3 Brentford players, but not Vissa.
Yeah, I know. We saw for somehow all of a sudden he's the golden boy of FPL Twitter today, right?
Dan just said that exactly as you said it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
The problem with Game Week 38, and I feel like we always have this problem, is there's so many potential hauls here, but you have no idea who's going to start.
True.
Right.
But if I knew Lukaku was starting for sure, I would definitely want Lukaku at home to Watford. Same with Luis Diaz. Same with Jesus. All these players could easily haul, but I just don't know if they're going to start or not.
So this is, I guess, my lack of experience, considering it's my first first season. How often do we get the team news? Is it
not a lot? I would say. I mean, again, especially this season, the deadline is 1.5 hours ahead. Right? Previously, it was 1 hour. I don't think, if anything, we are going to get even less news. I mean, some teams we just get news all the time, right? Like Leicester or Liverpool. Most of the time, we do get at least some news. But yeah, other than that, maybe not much.
Watch out for fake news too. on the last
Right.
game of the
Lots and
season.
lots.
Be careful with fake news.
There's been a lot of that this back half of the season.
Yeah.
A lot of rumors.
Game week 38 is always crazy. I usually just pick my team and whatever happens, happens.
Alrighty. Okay. Let's quickly talk about the defenders again. Not much to talk about here. Like if you don't have Alonso, we already spoke about him. If you don't have any Chelsea coverage, maybe Alonso or the Spurs boys. I think both of the wing backs are a good choice, Emerson or Sessegnon. But I don't think too many people. Although that's one of my options, and because of my team structure, that's why it is that I may want to do a defensive transfer in 38. But most people, I don't think, would be looking at even bringing in any defenders. Right? There are just so many good options in the midfield or in the attack. Anyone that comes to your mind, Dan, Patrick, or Angler? Any defensive transfers that looks enticing to you?
No, I mean it's the same issue. You're going to want Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Tottenham defenders.
Regular
Who starts? Who starts? That now. The only one I would be tempted to bring in is Sessegnon.
Mhm.
I think everyone else, it's just too.
He
You
could
have
have
no idea
easily
who to
hauled
bring
the
in.
past 2 game weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Sessegnon's a great shout.
Absolutely.
In terms of the Liverpool and Chelsea, I would just keep whoever you have and see what happens.
Yep.
Maybe Alonso if you don't have Alonso, because I feel like he will play.
Correct.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Patrick, anyone?
Matip's been hauling, but I mean, you want 3 different Liverpool assets, not Matip. The attacking threat's not there, but he's been scoring the goals. I think Dan touched on it. Sessegnon, Royale, Alonso. Those are the guys I'd be looking at if I made a defensive move. I'm likely not, unless, well, I'll talk about it in a bit.
Yeah. Most people are going to have Trent, Robertson, James, Alonso, and I think you just keep them.
Right, I agree.
And don't bring anyone else in.
Mm-hmm. Wrangler, anything to add?
No, I think both Dan and Patrick covered, and data also like talks behind them, like Alonso, as you can see, right, and also Sessegnon. Theorist is here. He's promoting Zinchenko shout here. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Great shout.
I think it's a great shot, especially in
good
terms
shout.
of assist or goal potential, but I do think City concede. I think they win comfortably, but I think they concede.
Oh, yeah?
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, just a guess, but I don't think
I
so.
can see. I think it's more like 4-1, 3-1, but I do think they concede.
Yeah.
See.
All right.
They're talking about Matip in the chat, how he's saved a lot of people's.
Yeah, we see Mrs. Blackwolf there too. Yeah.
Very annoying. I told her to put him in. So, then I was so disappointed when Trent and Robertson didn't start last game and Matip starts and gets a goal. And I hear a shout from the other room, "Yay!" Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No problem. All right. So, okay. Before we talk about teams, last thing, and again, I mean, we have talked about it casually, the captaincy stuff, and it's pretty obvious, right? I don't think like it really depends on how romantic you are about Game Week 38, how aggressive you want to be. But in general, most of the people who care about their rank, who at least have something to play for, are probably going to be these guys plus Chelsea, right? As we say, like Mount, or maybe if someone really wants to go to a Lukaku or something like that. But basically these guys, right? So anything outside of these 5 guys, and of course there is no point of talking about numbers at this point of the season, at this time of the season, game 38.
Yeah.
Who are you all's captain? Son?
I'll be captaining Son.
I'll be captaining Son as well.
Wrangler, anything outside?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him and also captain. So.
You don't have him right now, right? Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I mean,
so
outside of these 5 players, if you want to do it outside of the box, you have people like Madison, Mount. If you want to be really rogue, go for someone like Tony. Just if you want
I
to have
think
some fun.
Alonso is a good shout, by the way. Alonso,
Yeah.
or like Reece James,
Yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea defenders are not a bad shout.
Robertson or Trent, if they start, they would be good captains as well.
I think so. Yeah, but yeah, as I said before, also I'm not sure if I'll have the heart to go there. But if I do bring Kane in, I might just captain Kane. It's going to be going against a 150% EO captain in Son. But yeah, I might just go there. Anyone else in the chat have any other captaincy shout? Please do let us know. Anything else that we need to talk about, Wrangler, before we move on to the teams?
No, I think it's kind of obvious. All of us agreed on some, so just let's move on.
Okay.
Agree.
All right. So teams. Patrick, you want to talk about your team first? Your bus team and what your transfer thoughts are?
Yeah, sure. I can go ahead and talk about my team. Trying to make this full screen so I can. There we go. So I got Allison in goal. I don't plan on changing that. Reece James, Emerson Royale, Laporte, Cancelo, Robertson. I think that's pretty locked in. Unless I get news that one of them isn't playing, I'd probably stick with those. All good fixtures. I could see any one of them keeping a clean sheet. I know I just said City won't, but it's definitely possible. Saka, Salah, De Bruyne, Son in the midfield, and then Nketiah up top. That's my bus team. Obviously, the big concern is Salah. The only way I keep him is 100% confirmed spy on cop or Andy says, hey, Salah's starting. If I don't get that, I'm definitely taking a -4. And then I have endless options with that -4 because you get so much money to spend, especially considering I already have Son and De Bruyne. I have to go down to like a Mount or a who else do I want? Diaz, Barnes, a Madison, a Barnes. So my two combinations, leaders in the clubhouse for combinations, would be Salah and Nketiah to Mount and Vardy, or the other route, because I mentioned I was not thrilled about not being tripled up on Spurs against Norwich. I think that's going to be a very high scoring game.
Yep.
At least for Spurs, not for Norwich, is to get Kane in. And the only way I can get Kane in is going down to like, I think 6.7 million. I think actually it's 6.6 because I think Bowen is 6.7, and I would have put Bowen in there if I could have afforded him. So that leaves me kind of Barnes or Trossard to get Kane in for a hit. But if Salah's starting, I don't think I take a hit, and I just remove any player that I get news on that they're not starting, whether it be James or Saka or whoever. One of the, I guess, issues with my 3 premium midfielder strategy that I decided on before the game week 36 deadline is I'm not very flexible. I can't get to different level strikers because I don't have the budget for it. I only have 0.1 or 0.2 in the bank. So I can't get to a Tony for a Pukki or an Nketiah, which means I just essentially have to downgrade a player that I get confirmation isn't starting if I get anything.
That's what I was going to ask you. So if the only news you get is that Salah and Robertson are starting and you get no other news, what do you do?
No other news.
No news apart from the Liverpool news.
See, that's my fear. I think I either get Laporte out and go for a
Alonso.
Alonso,
Yeah.
or if I get confirmation Laporte starting, maybe I just do a sideways move just because I think he has a higher probability of hauling Emerson Royale to Sessegnon.
Is there any chance you make no moves?
I think I would do Emerson Royale to Sessegnon before
Okay.
making no moves.
Okay.
But that would be very frustrating if Emerson Royale is the one who scores the goal and I made
never
that
know,
move at
yeah.
the deadline. But
Yeah.
it's the
These
risk
things
you
happen.
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I think I like the Mount and Vardy shot. Really, really good. Over probably the Burns, Trossard, and Kane. Kane looks enticing as like an one individual player. Since you're taking a hit, I think the Mount and Vardy move has a lot more EV gain for 1 week. I
Especially
like
because you're
that.
captaining Son as well. If you were going to captain Kane, then I would answer differently. But you're going to
True.
captain Son anyway.
True.
True. Yeah, other than that, your team looks absolutely well set up for 38. As Dan said, right? Basically, you don't have to make a transfer if Salah is fit and everything. So, but yeah, good
Would
luck
you be
for
Would you be tempted to play Pookie over Nketiah?
I've thought about it. I've kind of gone back and forth, but I would like to not bet against myself with Emerson Royale.
Mhm.
All right. All right.
So I'd rather play Nketiah and root for him to score.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, nice. Let's talk about Dan, your team.
My team. So the really obvious move here is, of course, to take Coutinho out for someone, and I have so many options what to do here. I think I'm leaning towards Mount. I'm pretty confident that's going to be my move, Coutinho to Mount. I see him having a higher upside than the likes of Diaz, Madison, Kulu, people like that.
I think so.
I think I'm going to just play Richarlison. I might change my mind on that if they are safe tomorrow, but I might just play him anyway. He can still score against Arsenal. So my only other debate is: do I take a -4 to do share to Alonso and then bench Richarlison? So that's my debate. I feel like not taking a hit, because my goal right now, because I did so terrible the past 3 weeks, is I kind of just want to finish inside the top 100k.
Yeah.
So do I just not take a -4 because that gives me a better chance? I don't know.
You need a return to break even, though,
Yeah.
with a hit in the final game week, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as Richarlison even gives like an assist, you are already in the loss, right? So,
Exactly. So I might just do Coutinho to Mount, Captain Son. I've already got Kane. If all of my defenders play, that's a great defense. I'm not happy with Ramsdale, but what do you do? Maybe I'll get a penalty save. Hopefully not against Richarlison. Hopefully Calvert-Lewin steals it from him or something. Saka, might as well keep him. Zaha, definitely want to play him against Man United. So I don't see any other obvious moves here. I don't know about you guys, but Coutinho
yeah, I
to
mean,
Mount.
if you really wanted to bench Richarlison anyways, I would rather like Richarlison to Tony more than the Sharto Alonso move. At least I think that sounds more of a EV positive move, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Because for Alonso, you are relying on the clean sheet more than the attacking returns, right? But at
No,
least with Tony playing against Leeds, and you are benching Richarlison anyways, right? So why not make that move? Like, I would like that more than the Sharto Alonso move, I think.
it's a very, very good point.
That.
Very good point. But I think I'm likely just not going to take a hit.
Makes sense.
And just start the game week with a green arrow. So I think
Sounds
that's my
good.
thoughts.
Looks good.
Taking
And
Richarlison out for a hit is a little bit dangerous.
I think so.
You can easily return, and then you need 2 returns to break even, and that's not ideal.
Yeah. One game with variance, right?
That's what I'm going to do.
And you already have Son and Kane both, so you are
Yes.
more well set up than like all of us. So yeah, all of us are trying to get to 2. You already have both of them. So
So that's what's happened this whole season. I've had a very good team whole season. I've had many people say to me, "Oh, you've got a great team. I wish I could get to your team. I have a very good team value, but I have the worst rank
Yeah,
on
that's
this
what your
on this
XG data
video.
says too, right? You should
Yeah,
have done better, a lot better.
Right?
a lot better." So it's a mixture of some really bad decisions and some bad luck. But
Yeah.
let's end on a high.
All right. Good luck, Dan.
Just to quickly, Diz is saying, is a -8 hit a terrible idea? I mean, I don't think it's a great idea.
I think it's a pretty terrible idea for Game of 38. You don't want to go beyond a -4 for sure.
No.
Unless you've got 3 or 4 injuries,
Yeah.
I don't think a -8 is a viable
Yeah,
option.
absolute like non-players in your team that you know for sure are not going to play or are going to get 0 points from them.
The only way you're doing -8 if you like don't have Kane and don't have Son, and you want to bring them both in and captain Son, potentially maybe, but I would not do a -8 in the last game week.
Yep. All right. Next is mine. So again, my team is not in the best shape, especially defensively. If Salah is fit, then I am kind of in the same position as Patrick because I have the 3 premium mids. So I cannot really move to like a premium-ish or medium priced attacker or something like that. So the only possible transfers that I can do, transfers that I can do is in the defense. So right now I'm just, again, that's could be very punty, but I'm just thinking going from Shar and Tellus to a double up on the Spurs defense. It could go all very, very wrong, but it does. If it does go well, it would also turn out very well too. But that's only, again, as we spoke about before, if I absolutely know that Salah is playing, right? Otherwise, I don't even think about that particular move. If we don't know that, again, one of my moves is very similar to that of Patrick's, Vardy and Mount, easy swap from Salah and Dennis. And then the other one is also doubling up on the Spurs attackers, going from Salah and Dennis to Kane and Kulusevski. That's basically where I am. So, I mean, yeah, of course, if I do get the defenders in, I would go 5-4-1. If I do get, if Salah is out and then I have to make the moves, I will still have to play one of Teles and Shar, unfortunately. Not ideal at all. Or I have to play Broha, which is not ideal either. He hasn't scored forever. Like last goal was in game of 24 or something. So that one place will be weak in my team. Unfortunately, I will have to just take it on the chin and move. Again, not going to take a -8, however, so that's not going to happen. So yeah, if Salah is not fit, Salah is out. Most likely, my moves are going to be between these two, either Vardy and Mount or Kane and Kulusevski. What do you guys think?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say Cher is in my team, and he is coming off the bench because Trent and Robertson didn't play, and he got injured before Newcastle's clean sheet. So I'm very mad at Cher right now.
1 pointer, huh?
Oh, so annoying. This is a tough one.
My structure is very, very kind of unique from all of yours because again, the reason that I got Telles in was for that double game week for Man United, and it did not. It did work out pretty well. He gave me a 12-pointer, right? So it was not too bad, but because of that one move, that extra move, my team structure completely was destroyed. If I had moved to like Matip or something like that, my team would look so much better for 38. But just for that Tellus move, it doesn't look as good by any means. So, but yeah, it's kind of tough for me.
So if Salah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if Salah is out and you bring in Vardy and Mount, did you say you can bench Cher, but you'd have to play Tellez?
Yeah, I'll still have to play one of Tellez, Cher, and Broha.
Got it. I think Tellez you'd play, right?
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. I think
for
if
the
Salah's out, I
assist.
think I like that move.
Why is that? You can play KDH too, right?
Why would I play KDH? Is not a. He is a bench. He's a proper fodder, right? I just got him for the price point.
No, but I mean,
He doesn't
currently,
score or assist as much. He has like 1 goal, 2 assists the whole season. I would rather play Tellus over KDH 100%
okay,
or
yes,
Broha.
fair enough.
Definitely the higher upside.
Yeah.
If Salah is fit and starting, you would take a -4 to bring in 2 Tottenham defenders, huh?
I may or may not. Again, I mean, it really comes down to what my risk appetite is. I might just do Sher to
Yeah,
Senion, and that
that
way
one's
let it
obvious,
be
I
that.
feel.
Yeah, I could just do that. I think they're the same price, aren't they? I forgot. I'll have to check. I forgot actually. I think both of them are 4.3, or maybe Sessegnon went to. I have 0 in the bank, so that's another problem. Maybe that's why I was thinking about the double transfer.
I
And
think
that's it.
Sessegnon's 4.3 and Royale's 4.6.
Yeah, but Sessegnon and Share are probably the same price
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now, right
yeah.
at this moment. So yeah, I can still just do that and let it be that.
Share to Sessegnon is very obvious to me.
Yep.
I would almost say the other one. Tellez to Sessegnon.
So let's do Sessegnon and play Share
Yeah.
if he's fit. Yeah.
If he's fit.
Yeah. And he has a like 16-point haul. Like a couple seasons ago, I was looking at Andrew Gower, or I forgot his name in FPL Twitter. So like a couple seasons ago, he scored like a 16-pointer in game week 38. If I've been sure. So again, I mean, doesn't matter much, but I don't mind playing him if I have to.
I mean,
Nihal is saying share dropped to 4.2.
Yeah, I think he did. So that's why I was thinking the double move. Otherwise, I cannot afford
Ooh.
that share to Sessegnon move. I have zero, literally 0 in the bank.
so
I
then
still don't.
I might do
Go
the
ahead.
other one because
Tell
Share.
us to Sessegnon.
If we knew Share was starting, I would play him because
I
I
think
think a lot of people have been underestimating Newcastle lately. They've turned into a very, very good team. I would have no issues playing him.
like him, yeah. And that too again Burnley, right? So good fixture in general.
Yeah, it's just
You
I
got to
don't know.
weigh up the Newcastle clean sheet potential versus Tellez's assist potential. As we know, Man United is not getting a clean
Yeah,
sheet.
they're definitely conceding. Yeah.
I mean, Share got fully knocked out. He was like unconscious. They had to try and pull his tongue out. I saw. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he plays. That's the problem.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Nehal actually asked one question, and which is relevant to your team and also my team. Between Ramsdale and Dubravka, are you gonna play Ramsdale over Dubravka completely?
Good question. Actually, I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm kind of 55-45 on Ramsdale. It can easily go the other way around as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, to be honest.
He also
If
makes a
you're
very good
playing,
point.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
If you're playing share, I would not play Dubravka.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I would double
But
up on them. Yeah.
I think the Ramsdale is the better play anyway.
Yeah, I think Ramsdale would get more save points as well. Everton will most likely go for it. But anyways, yeah. So that's my team. Let's move on. Wrangler, you want to talk about your team?
I was just going to quickly say in the chat, Nihal said about Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
that's one we didn't talk about. I like that. If you want to have a bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
He got his tooth fixed. He's ready to go.
Oh, that was nasty, wasn't it?
Go ahead, Wrangler.
Yeah, for my team, I think all of you guys have at least one of these parts. I said some of you have two. I don't have any. So my equation is very simple. I have to bring Son, okay, somehow. So my team right now is I have big at the back, Robertson, Trent, Cancelo, James, Alonso. So I have to stick to them and hope all of them start. I have Saka, Mount, Salah, and KDB and Nketiah. My bench is very thin. So my obvious move to bring Son. So if Salah is injured, I'll be happy with that. Easily sell Salah and get Son, and that's it. I'll have a lot of money in my bank, but that's okay. I mean, I will not take any hits. But if Salah is fit, I don't think Klopp is gonna say anything concrete. But if he says that his feet is gonna start, Then my other route would be KDB. It's like selling KDB to get Son. Although it's not very optimal move, but that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I think that's one of the obvious choice I have. And I think I'm gonna roll the dice with NKT. I was thinking to take -4 or not to sell NKT because I'll have a lot of money if I sell Salah, but I don't think I'll just stick to NKT. So that's my moves.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
like it. I don't think there's much to argue. And you are going to captain Son, of course, so
Yeah,
it's a positive move, anyways. So
yeah.
Are
I
you
just hope
worried
like
about taking De
everybody
Bruyne
starts.
out?
What is that?
Are you worried about potentially taking De Bruyne out?
Well, I mean, not really, to be honest. I mean, I have to bring Sun, right? So,
Hmm.
what can I do? I don't think
Right.
KDB is gonna have a very huge upside in this game. That's my thought, but we don't know. We'll see. You know.
yeah, I mean
It,
your
it depends how
team.
quickly that first goal goes in my
Oh yeah,
opinion.
definitely, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, I have to bring Sun, so those are the two options, and I have to deal
Yeah,
with
I
it.
would do that, I think. Yeah. And your team elsewhere is very well set up. You have all the right defenders. You have Mount, who all of us are talking about trying to bring him in, right? You already have him. I don't see any other issues with your team. So, yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
That's because you guys already have Sun, right? So you are selling Salah
Well,
to get Mount or something. So
but it's the same thing, right? You have
yeah,
Mount. So, all
yeah,
of us are
exactly.
trying
So
to get to Mount. So, it's
yeah.
one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Wrangler, and ZD here is not with us today, but we got his team, at least his past team. His team is also very, very well set up. I was just looking at him, and he has all the players that we were talking about today. Of course, very big at the back. He has Mount, he has Madison, he has Kane, he has Salah, and he has Saka. So, I mean, he's covered everywhere. Whatever teams or whatever fixtures we are talking about targeting, he has already all of them. So, I mean, of course, his decision is also going to come down to whether Salah is fit or not. Um, Very obvious move would be Salah to Son again, right? But if Salah is fit, maybe he makes some move in the defense line. But other than that, his team also looks very, very well set up. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Anything else that we did not touch or you guys want to talk about?
I just want to
Dan,
quickly ask: is he going to captain James?
he might. Yeah,
Hmm?
he say that he just might. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fine.
He's sitting just inside 50k, I think around 40k or something. So he might take that chance. But yeah, yeah. He
Oh,
if he brings Son in, probably he will captain Son.
okay.
So if you get confirmation Salah's fit,
Mhm.
would you still go to Son anyway?
It's a good
For
question.
ZD's team. For ZD's team only.
For something like this, very tough question. I don't think I would. I would not. I per-
I think I would.
I
you
think
would.
I would too. If we're
I
saying
personally.
Son's the best captain option, even if Salah's healthy,
Hmm.
why would you not bring him in over Salah?
Because surely if
Maybe,
Salah is
but
healthy, he comes off at
Early.
60 minutes anyway.
60,
You
60,
would
65
think.
minutes. Maybe, yeah. It's a very tough choice. Very, very tough
It's a
choice.
very tough
Well,
choice.
in his situation, I think I would be chasing. You know,
Yeah.
so in that case, I would not bring Son. I would just keep Salah, roll the dice, and captain him.
Salah would be the more differential guy this week, right?
Yeah,
Like
Crazy,
as
right?
Yes.
unlikely as
yeah.
it sounds, he is
So
going to
he's
have.
like around 40 or 50k ish. So I would chase,
Yeah.
in that rank, and I think I
Yeah, I
would go
don't
for.
think. Yeah, at his position, I would probably just make some other move, roll the dice, hope Salah does well, Salah starts and does well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's all of our decisions are going to kind of come to that. Other than Dan, he doesn't have Salah. Okay, we are going to be eagerly waiting for that news whether Salah is fit or not.
If
But yeah,
Salah starts and hauls, I'm going to be so annoyed.
yeah, yeah. You just have to hope that Son and Ken covers that, right? They
Yeah.
also haul and they cover that. So as
Oh,
long as they do, don't care. All right, very good discussion, guys. We've spent almost like 1 hour and 45 minutes talking about it, but I absolutely loved it. Talking to you guys, very, very, very good discussion. I have no complaints. Cannot have any
I
complaints.
hope not.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
It's
this,
been a
this was
blast.
a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Like last time, it's good to see Patrick.
absolutely.
Good to see you too, Dan.
Make sure you. I'm going to do this. Make sure you follow Patrick on Twitter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very knowledgeable person, very nice guy. Dramatically underfollowed, so please do that.
Appreciate
Are,
that, Dan.
are we having a space this week? I presume we do, right? Friday?
We haven't
Or
talked about that. I think
we have not,
we
right?
should.
Yeah,
I think we should.
Yeah,
absolutely should, right? Why not? Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we'll look forward to that. And again, thanks to Dan and Patrick for being here with us. Absolutely loved it, and hope to see you guys back in our videos next season. We'll definitely do a lot more, chat a lot more. And thank you, Wrangler, as always, for being here with us again. We miss ZD, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back next time we meet. But yeah, thanks to all of the people in the chat as well. Thanks for all of your support throughout the season and for today especially. But yeah, we'll look forward to the space, and good luck for Game Week 38.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for having us on.
Thank you, guys.
Anyways,
Have a blast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye.
Bye.